Alvarez has 6 walks.
It's
hey guys,
ridiculous.
This is how to win. You don't walk battles.
And you as a hitter are going to go up there looking to take pitches. Not the right move.
He's also leading the league with Ralph Hannon on ERA at 3.62.
Right, but again, Eddie Alvarez is something definitely, again, he goes there, he's focused, he's ready to take care of business, he's not there to do anything else but just to play some ball, get the job done, and coach, he got his team to a 5-3 and sitting at in first place, so you got to tip your hat to Eddie Alvarez and Yantar and Zul for bringing their teams out of the 1-3 hole that they were in.
Yep. You have to respect,
a full-game win streak.
You have to respect this team, guys.
Yes.
Got to respect them.
All right.
Something to talk about.
Next up, game 2 of the week. Special Children's Center, Lewis, against Mitzvah Men, Esses. How are the games?
I don't remember.
Split. Big split this week.
Let's find out.
Big split.
Let's find out.
Let's talk about the newly married Ralph Cohen on the Mitzvah Men, going 5 for 7, home run, triple, 2 doubles, 2 walks, 3 RBIs, 4 runs on the day. In game 2, he hit for a cycle. I'm surprised he made it to third base.
Look, you know that I asked the same question. The homer I can understand. How do you get a triple?
He probably should have been a homer when he held up. But Ralphie,
I was
great
there. Ralph is hitting the ball, everything solid. Not only is he hitting it solid, he's not hitting it to anybody. He's, in my opinion, the most feared hitter in the league.
Can we call him the best hitter in the league?
Not according to average.
Eddie Antar right now. I've seen Eddie, but to me he's the most feared hitter in the league.
Ralph's hitting 526, third in the league behind Eddie Antar and Zul.
Now the question is for the Mitzvah Men. Ralph Cohen goes on a 3-week hiatus.
For what?
We're going on for his honeymoon.
Ralph needs to get his priorities straight. He understands that he's on playing softball or honeymoon. There's no question you stay in, you play softball, and you play with the boys that got you. I'm sorry, you don't go on the honeymoon.
I agree. And
Ralph,
you know what? I heard that's a problem.
And Ralph, I'm calling you out on it right now. I'm sorry, but I had to say it.
But again, is it going to affect the Mitzvah Men, who's 4-4? Again, Ralph Cohen is one of the leaders on the team with his strong bat. I mean, his stats alone speak for himself. He hit his first cycle in the second game.
I think they'll move Stephen Rudy to short. And
they'll be able to compensate. I hear it, but could you move a hitter that's hitting 526 and hits for a cycle in one game?
Not only that,
is the commissioner going to allow a sub?
That's a big question. You know what? You and I discussed that today.
And if they do allow sub, who could it be?
You know what? There's this guy named Mark Braha who was let go. He was put on waivers last week by the YMSL. I don't know his availability because I believe he's going on a honeymoon as well.
Mm-hmm.
But
I do have some. TMZ does have some information on that wedding, by the way.
On the wedding?
On the wedding.
Could you disclose it on tonight's show or
no, not
on Mark Braha's wedding?
Oh, I thought about Ralph Cohen's wedding.
Well, that happened already.
Right. Maybe he was.
No, TMZ doesn't have to break news. It happened already.
No, but the wedding I think is somewhere in the middle of June, Mark, to Kiki Vandeweghe, and
GM of the Nets.
And I think maybe the pressure's getting too much for Mark. Maybe I don't know. You think he could sub? I don't know.
I mean,
he's a guy that I think he played in Brooklyn once, right?
Yeah, well-respected player. Good ball player. But again, losing Ralph Cohen is a big loss.
Big loss.
And you know what's also big about that is that Pete gets protected by Ralph, or vice versa, that they're back-to-back on the lineup, and I'm not sure how they're batting because we haven't played them yet. Who's 3-4 or if it's,
Ralph, I'll tell you what they're doing. They're putting DC up first.
Yeah.
Ralph up second. Pete up third. They're picking their number one.
Who's there for him?
Reyes, and he's not. Reyes is hitting also. The son of a gun.
Yeah, he's hitting too. I'm very surprised that.
And Rudy's hitting also.
Yeah, Rudy had a good week. He was not duty, and then he went duty.
Right. He's on and off. So this week he was good. Next week he'll be duty.
But they're taking the 3 best hitters and they're just putting them 1, 2, 3. Now let me tell you what this reminds me.
Hold out DC, one of the best hitters on the team.
He's batting first. He's got some speed. DC's hitting.
Ray.
DC's hitting.
You know who I want, Ray.
But this reminds me of the Kansas City Royals in the 70s where they put Hal McRae and George Brett up 1 and 2.
Remember that.
And the reason they did that is so that they would get more at bats.
Lou, this is why we have you on the show for stats like that. Al McCreary.
Your number one hitter and your number two hitter will get up between about 15 to 20% more than everybody else on the team. So it pays to put your best hitter up 1 and 2. They get more at bats.
Do you have that baseball card of Hal McCreary?
Hal McCrae.
Or whoever his name is.
You might know his son, Brian McCrae. He used to play for the Mets.
McCrae.
Hal McCrae, good ball player. He played baseball the right way.
Anyway, Lewis, I'm going to cut you off here.
Kansas City Royals.
Okay, Kansas City Royals. Thank you.
Could
you give us some details on the game? We didn't even talk about the game yet.
First game,
first game. Quickly run through it.
First game, we went. We went down the first. No,
that's a negative of an older guy. The memory's gone.
It definitely is.
The game was like a few hours ago.
Guys, you don't want to.
Oh my God! Is that an in-call show segment? In-call?
That was a call-in request.
Yeah,
from,
that's
one
what I
of
meant
our
to say.
fans.
Didn't come out right.
We scored 3 runs in the first inning. They came down and scored 2. In the third inning, we scored 3. I mean, I'm trying to...
Are you going to go inning by inning here?
I don't remember the game. I really don't.
I remember somebody put up a 7 spot. Is that game 2?
That was game 2. Oh,
okay.
God, I don't want to talk about that game.
So then you must have won game 1.
We won game 1. We lost game 2 very badly.
All right. That's it. Bottom line.
Okay, so...
How'd your center fielder play? Did he get any hits this week?
It's an issue. I'm having my center fielder is an issue.
All right, Lewis, your center fielder is Stephen Gindy. Happens to be my brother. Yeah. If you're in for making a trade
right now
on the
show,
we're in.
Let's talk.
We came up with some options.
Don't say them out loud.
We're not going to say names.
Anybody.
Exactly.
Look over the paper
unless you put the trade through.
Accept or not accept.
It's not happening.
You didn't even look at it.
It's not happening. I'm not trading my center fielder.
There's loyalty right there. We just tried to have some breaking news.
There's absolutely no loyalty. I just don't have, there's nobody.
We just don't have a center fielder for you. No, this. What about putting Moko? You wanted to realign your outfield. You put Moko in center.
Moko can play center. I have no doubt about it.
Accept the trade.
Hey, let's. This is not the time for the GM
to talk. You're right.
This is the show. All right. So let's go back here.
All right.
Let's go back because Lewis can't really.
Just so you know, let me just look. Their number 1, 2, 3, 4 hitters are hitters. You got to watch out for this team.
That's Mitzvah Man he's talking about.
Mitzvah Man and Pete pitched very, very well. Pete pitched both games, and Pete takes all the junk he can think of and throws it right at you.
And they had a backup pitcher.
Who's their backup pitcher?
Jackie
Schwecker. He didn't come and pitch. He didn't pitch.
Okay. Because of the lack of Lewis's memory, we'll move on to the third game of the week.
Guys.
It's fine, no problem.
We do, for the stats is why we have Lewis. Maybe next week we'll get Sammy just to give us details. But we'll move on to the last game of the week, which was ABS's Lev Aharon against Teddy and the Bro Shack's Seed.
Ishak still tired, still looked a little tired and jet lagged from his mission in Pakistan last week in game 1.
I don't think I have to disagree with that.
Yeah. Alright, I hear it. I mean, I'm just saying he looked it. It didn't really mean that he played it.
Had no effect on him, especially in game 1.
Yeah.
I heard this week that Teddy is going to be guest at Dancing with the Stars.
Is that right?
That's what I heard.
This guy is all over the place, and he still finds time to play ball on Sundays.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
I heard he'll be Dancing with the Stars this week.
Really?
That's what I heard.
Is it? And I heard that it's a secret who he's dancing with.
Who he's dancing? I don't know who he's dancing. Ginger Rogers.
See, we don't even know who Ginger Rogers is. Lewis?
You don't know who Ginger Rogers is?
Fine, get it on the right.
Google it.
So, game 1, Lev Aharon, to say that we looked lethargic out there is an understatement. Yeah. To say that we looked disgusting out there was an understatement. To use the S word.
All right, you don't have to rag on us.
It was a disgusting display of softball. It was a disgusting display of softball. To the which was even more sad about the performance of Lev Aharon was that their pitcher Ralph Hannon came out to play. The guy was throwing up on the. He
had a little virus ski that morning.
He was throwing up on the sideline.
One of his kids threw up on him At about 6 a.m.
Whatever it was, he
Yeah.
was playing with flu-like systems.
How come we only-
Symptoms.
How come we only had 7 players?
And there was some substitutes.
Huh?